How long gone? Thursday afternoon in New York City. Our guest did cancel, so luckily for you,
our guest is a fucking pussy ass, bitch ass guest.
Yeah, our guest was feeling sick, but luckily for you, Dim Jeans and I are here to kind of keep the ball in play. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling, Dim Jeans?
This skinny rascal's feeling good, Chris. I'm back in Cali. It's sun is shining. It's not.
Oh, baby,
it's not hot. It's barely even warm, but just. I'm still a little traumatized. I was telling Carolyn this morning on our hot girl walk, I was traumatized still from the Boston temperature. I mean, like East Coast in general, New York, Boston.
Damn, bro.
And then, just like anyone who's lived in New York, they're just like, oh, that's not cold.
It really wasn't that cold, bad, buddy. Honestly.
Really which I know, I agree with.
I mean, it's still,
but it's like,
not
let
great.
me have this trauma.
It's not great. No, we don't allow any trauma. You know that. Thanks to BetterHelp, you shouldn't have any of that.
No more trauma in my life.
Well, I'm glad that the sun is out. I need some of that. I mean, New York has actually been okay. It's just it is chilly. I'm having to wear a scarf, a hat, gloves, etc. when I run my little errands.
Damn, you got errand gloves on,
bro. I be running errands. That's all I do. I've been. I mean, I got back from Dallas. All I had to do was run errands. I felt fucking crazy.
But does errand running reset you when you're back in the city? Like you're gone. I mean, I guess you're only in D-town for a day or two, so it's not a big deal. But after a bigger trip. To me, it's like I need to go and run all those errands, and that's like filling up my love tank when I get home, kind of.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's nothing I love more, especially when it's on foot. So it feels like you're getting steps in as well as
you feel like Sonic himself. Gotta go fast.
I feel like Sonic.
Gotta go zoom over here.
The hedgehog. Yeah, exactly. And I love checking stuff off my list. No Santa. So it feels good. I'm not gonna front, but. It's back to the grind, and then we're coming back to LA, baby. Holiday season.
Yeah, come on down to Kokomo.
Can't do these East Coast winters for Christmas. It's crazy. All these tourists in town.
You're gonna be in LA for
a minute,
for a decent amount of time, huh?
Yeah, a little minute. Yeah.
What are we gonna do? What are you gonna do about this car of yours, Chris?
I'm gonna pick it up.
I know, but just more. I'm thinking more big picture.
Oh, I have to get a new one because my lease is up.
But is it going to be worth it? Should we just Turo when we're in town? What are you thinking?
No, I don't use Turo and Airbnb are both on my shit. I will never use those services again. I'm all set.
So we're willing to eat the cost.
It's just because I need a new car that works all the time.
You don't have time for car drama in your life, is what you're saying.
I don't have time for car drama. I mean, you remember my car got towed and I got a flat and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's put me on a spiral. It put me on a fucking spiral.
Speaking of trauma. You still have the towing, the tow yard. When they do the little grease pan
markings,
on the windshield.
The markings.
That's when you're fucking a thought when he got those little markings on the dash. Still, that means it's gonna be some good dick if he's just recently been on the tow yard. But I'm thinking bigger picture as it pertains to.
If he's recently had impounded, the dick's
impound dick, bomb as fuck. He's fucking for his life at that point. So. I'm thinking because in a very television and films Friday, the way how Debo stole the bike, and when he said, "Hey, can I have my bike back?" and he said, "No, it's both of our bikes. I just keep it at my house." Your car spends most of its life in front of my house, so I'm saying if I should maybe have a say on what kind of car you get, and it'd be nice if it's something that I liked as well.
Okay, well, what are you thinking for me? What feels like the right late model automobile for your co-host?
Well, I have to consult with my house. So I can't really.
Okay.
I'll have to get back to you on this one, but it doesn't. I mean, you have a practical car now, and you have one impractical and one practical. So maybe find the difference between the two.
Well, I want something practical again, but just a little nicer and bigger, even maybe. But what I really
bigger.
Oh yeah, what I want to do.
You want to be sitting up high, right?
Yeah, I love.
You don't want to do a sedan,
exactly,
like a 7 Series.
What I want to do is
American Steel.
Yeah, what I'd love to do is have like a brand new Tahoe or something.
Yukon, Escalade, Tahoe.
Yeah.
Not a Mercury Mountaineer, broke hoe shit.
No, but big boy SUV. But I know I'm not going to do that because I love German engineering just too much, Jason. You know that.
Well, here's another thing to think about. because you're not going to be driving the car that much. It's going to be parked in Glendale. I think there's many drivers who would perhaps like to work out some type of cash sublease.
Okay.
You know,
so
it can be in your name kind of thing.
Oh, I'm sure it can. Yeah, I'm sure it can. You can pay. You can
but
pay
then
the bills.
But then other people, several dozens of Armenian neighbors of mine will sort of homie hop and pass this Yukon between any number of people who might need it, and they're gonna drive that thing like their life depended on it. They're gonna run that Yukon like the Navy.
Yeah, no, that's true. I feel like if I got like a Lexus, you know, like a nice new Lexus, and just leased it out to one of your Armenian neighbors, made a little cash on the side, cover the payment. But unfortunately, yeah, if I'm on the hook for it, who knows? You know, if somebody runs off with the Lexus, then I'm holding the bag.
This is the price that we pay, Chris.
This is the price.
When we're doing dirt, you're gonna get a little dirt on your nails, all right? Are you down to ride or not?
I am down to ride. You know, I love the gig economy as well as gray areas. So this is perfect for me. I wanted to talk about sports for a quick second.
Okay.
Today on the treadmill at Equinox, I saw something very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Friend of the show, Draymond Green, has been suspended indefinitely because he punched someone in the face on the court and tried to, it was like a backhanded closed fist slap, and he tried to act like it was like his body had been hurled and he couldn't control his arm, but he literally punched a guy in the face. And I think it's very cool.
He was trying to act like it ain't all that NBA games aren't televised.
Yeah, exactly. but I think if they started allowing like hockey style fights in the NBA, we might be more interested in it. I mean, if it could get more popular,
that might just save the most popular. Yeah.
I think football is more popular, and that's because it's violent.
No, it is.
We crave violence as Americans in our sporting. And that's what we need.
And Draymond has a history of punching people.
Known puncher.
He's got priors.
He's got several priors. He's. But I was just like, this guy, and he's like at the press conference, like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And they show the clip again. It's just so clear that he meant to do that. Mm-hmm. And they show another clip, my personal favorite, where he stomps on a guy's neck.
Oh yeah.
And also pretends that he just flails his body around,
Prison
to make
rules.
it look. It's my favorite athletes are the ones that aren't in good shape and still, like Draymond Green and what's the other guy? The guy with the beard, James Harden. They just look like shit, but they can play. So everybody lets it go. And I love that you can be an athlete and just kind of out of shape and make $100 million a year. That's aspirational.
Yeah, talent is talent. There's things that you can't train or you can't pay for. It's just in you, and it's pretty cool if you have that and you're fat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
You could kind of stunt on everything. Like, have fun at the gym, skinny ass. Have fun with your little BMI. I'm gonna go to California Pizza Chicken Cafe.
I'm hitting CPK for lunch. Gonna get a pie and maybe some Alfredo. You guys have fun down in the weight room or whatever. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. It really is. But it's especially good in a sport where you're.
I'm gonna go to And Other Stories. Sorry, what were you saying?
It's especially good when it's a sport where you run the whole time. Like, how on earth, like football, you stand around kind of, you know what I mean? But how on earth do you hold on to
I think
an
it
extra
really
20?
it really depends on the position, and I think
True.
Basketball's not, you get a big man in the paint, he's kind of trotting around, he's doing a me style run.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm familiar.
People when people sprint, when you sprint, they say, like, if your heels are touching the ground, you're not running fast enough. You've heard that. You've heard that, right?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Of course. I'm kind of the other way around.
Are you?
I'm heel only.
Okay, so you're okay. So you're okay. So you've invented, by no fault of your own, a new sprinting style because of your odd body shape and mobility issues.
Yeah, well, and also as a center on the basketball court,
yes,
most of the running you're doing is kind of a reverse shuffle,
which is something you are good at. Yeah, you're very good at running backwards. I would say you're better at running backwards than you are forwards. Would you agree?
I wouldn't disagree.
Damn, that is so twisted, but it's true. I bet you could backpedal with the best of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it might come from my early fixed gear cycling days.
God, that makes sense.
I mean, if I had to do a deep dive.
I know. I've been thinking about fixed gear because I'm booking our travel to San Francisco today. I'm just thinking about San Francisco and what a hellscape it's become, and how it was truly once the hotbed of that culture. And I just, as a former fixie and San Francisco lover, can you fill me in on why you think that developed there? Is it because of the bike messenger culture? Is it because of the hills? Like, why do you think fixed gear came to prominence in NorCal?
Honestly, that's a good question. I know it was big in New York, obviously, because of business, and you can get around faster on a bike than in a car, especially if you're a bad boy who like jumps off of stuff and runs red lights. I think it was the same in San Francisco, where it's just a super tight, like the downtown area specifically, and then ride your bike 20 minutes into the downtown area, and you're like, I don't care about my life. I don't have any insurance. I'm one of the only people who's willing to do this crazy ass job, and you're rewarded with incentives of how fast you're doing it. Like, get this over to fucking Procter and Gamble in 15 minutes, and there's another twomper in it for you, chief. I'll get you another pack of Parliament 100s. Do you
think this is still? Yeah, I used to live with like one of the first places I lived. A few of my roommates were bike messengers, as you can imagine. And it was very popular in Atlanta, but it was like I did like the fact that the faster you are, the more money you make. Partly because you can do more, you do more deliveries, but also because it's just like legal documents need to get there fast.
Yeah. I think the cool part about it is you're rewarded by going faster, but you have to use your body to do that versus like in a delivery car or whatever.
I think the industry's been decimated by the e-bikes. You know what I mean? It's not
obviously, no, I mean, it's been decimated by email. But
also that
it kind of took a lot of people who were on the fringes of society. Maybe they were struggling with drug addiction or anything like that. But
no, you don't. You're telling me. Hold on. You're telling me that these athletes, these bike messengers, these guys are in better shape than Draymond Green, are on cocaine, heroin, and Pabst Blue Ribbon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but more importantly, it's cool that riding this fix your bike was the only thing keeping these people alive.
I see.
If they didn't have to and be in such great shape, they'd be like, yeah, man, I just made $200. I'm going to do $200 worth of heroin right now.
That's true.
But if you're an athlete on that level and you have to bomb a gnarly ass hill with no brakes, so fucking sick.
We need to get you out on a fixie just for the visuals. I personally would love to see it. I don't think I've ever seen it before. But
you've seen me on a fixed gear bike before. Come on.
I don't know if I have. I've seen you on a bike several times, but I don't think I've seen you on a fixed gear specifically, unless you were riding one in the recent past.
No.
When you lived in Gatwater, were you riding a fixie?
That's when I transitioned.
Okay.
That's when I transitioned to single speed.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's why I'm asking. But yeah, what a twisted.
But I don't know the exact year. I transitioned.
Of course, but what a twisted subculture. Am I right?
Yeah, man, I miss it, and I also love that I don't have to do it anymore because it's truly unsafe to do that nowadays. Everyone is too much of an idiot, and you can't really trust them. Like a stand-up comedian, I think in New York, just died like 2 days ago because he was riding his bike and got hit by a car.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I saw that.
It doesn't happen that much, but like
I saw that. I saw that all over Instagram, but I didn't realize I always assume something nefarious is going on, which is bad of me. But that's sad.
The only safe place to ride in Los Angeles is like the LA River Path, which means you're only safe from cars hitting you because there's a cement wall dividing you. But
yeah,
the LA River is one of the most dangerous, lawless places.
Yeah, there's other fears over there. Well, I mean, did we talk about the Ace closing?
No. End of an era.
The Ace downtown LA and the Ace Theater, which is still pretty popular from what I can gather.
What I thought they're having all kinds of Chapo trap houses down there. Not no more.
They're just shutting the doors. They're closing up shop because they're basically just like downtown LA is too gnarly. is basically what I mean. Honestly, there's no other reason for it. Like, I'm sure that hotel still does pretty well.
They might not have the a ton of return business. I don't know, because you kind of have to trick someone into staying in a hotel downtown nowadays. I mean, I feel bad for them. They really tried and they did a good job, and they were a big part of the community, had lots of events and shows, and I've been to tons of different things there over the years, but I'm sure that they just got sick and tired of having to have like an armed guard in the lobby of their, 4-star hotel. Because any given moment, a guy is going to walk in the front door.
4-star is generous, but I see what you're saying.
Spread his asshole and start shitting on the foyer every hour on the hour. They're like, we're done here.
Yeah, if I want that, I can get it in New York City. I don't want that in Los Angeles. That's not part of the contract we have with each other.
I was actually saw an article about like San Francisco continues to unravel. It's getting worse and worse, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, is there going to be a change? And then like the sub headline is like, but Oakland's had it worse the whole time. People are just competing now with like who has the shittier city. Worse city? I don't like shitty city.
No, worse. Yeah, that's better.
It's sort of like it's very you're bragging about how fucked up and sick and badly you're doing for attention. Maybe, I don't know.
Yes, I mean it does feel like a competition of who can have it the worst, and everybody wants to talk about their problems, but. I'm not running for the suburbs anytime soon. I hope you aren't either, Jason.
I did 4 years ago. If this ain't the burbs, Queen, I don't know what is.
You know what I mean. I mean like real outside of the city, like not near a metropolitan area. But people are, I just don't, I think the quality of life of having no culture, but also not having to step over human shit to get in your house. I don't know if it's worth it.
This was something we were talking offline before we started recording, but I was rewatching Entourage, television's Entourage, and like season 1, episode 1, first season, it was like 20 years ago. So it really is kind of like a document or a slice of how life was 20 years ago. And, it's people would go retail shopping, and that would be a big part of your day. And you would go get lunch after that. And that would happen all over the country, not just New York City. But I was like, oh yeah, like we all used to like...
That's true, no.
Go out to lunch.
Yeah.
And like sit outdoors on the street, and cars would drive by. And I was trying to figure out like what are the main reasons, or maybe like what are the reasons why we don't do this anymore that we're kind of ignoring. And I'm... obviously COVID and blah, blah, blah. And to me, I think a lot of it is just like people's personal safety. Like no matter where they are, they're just like, I don't want to like go wear my Audemars at Toast because there's a 50% chance I'm going to get robbed by a guy.
Everyone is scared of everything, which is kind of insane because I think it's partly because like we have more information than we've ever had before, so every little thing that goes wrong, we hear about it.
Yeah,
and it's
Citizen
the rise.
App.
Yeah, it's the rise of all those narc apps. It's Instagram. It's like local news on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm sure Facebook as well. But it's just like that is the issue, because before I think there was probably a little less happening, but I think ignorance is bliss when it comes to local crime.
And maybe food delivery really kind of ruined everything. It's so easy and it's so cheap.
You're absolutely right.
As much as I love ordering my Sweet Green all the time whenever I need to, and I don't do it, every single day, but I do it like once a week.
I use a Sweet Green app to order lunch today, Jason. That's crazy.
They just opened a new store in Huntington Beach, my home city, and I ordered one for my mom for dinner last night.
That's a nice little...
She got the shumami. Pop the shumami cherry.
Wow, shumami is the best. I have some mods for you. We can talk about it off mic, but yeah, I mean, it's the one.
Mom, if you're
but no,
listening,
you're right. Delivery has ruined part of New York City for sure. Like it's it always existed here, but it was like hot guys on bikes, and now it's just like it's every restaurant is just... You see the guys walk in and just hold their phone up and not say and like bark at the like waiter, and it's just so, it just feels inhumane. The whole thing feels inhumane. I try my best not to do it, honestly. Like the food never tastes that good. it always costs more than it should. It takes longer than it should. There's always some confusion. It's not really worth it.
Yeah. If there's one little issue, you just have to be like, well, fuck it. What am I going to do? Wait another hour and a half for them to bring my brown rice?
There's no, that's literally what it's like. Like, what am I going to do? This guy doesn't understand what I'm saying. He's also a subcontractor. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not dealing with someone from the restaurant. You're dealing with someone from the delivery service.
He already ate 2 of my McNuggets.
It's getting worse, but I think that like in LA, it's different because it's like, I don't know. It's like New York. I can walk outside and get something much quicker than if it's delivered, whereas in LA that's not always the case.
But and I guess lastly, when I'm watching that and seeing people at Fred Siegel shopping and flirting and, hey, what are you doing tonight?
God, don't do this to me. I'm gonna get teared up.
Jessica Alba's having a going away party tonight. You guys should totally come. Stuff like that. Like those things don't happen anymore. It's like if someone's having a birthday party, you get invited to it like 3 weeks in advance, so you could plan your like anxiety trip outdoors with enough notice. But
it's true.
The other thing is they go to have a meeting at an office, not at Sight Glass Coffee, not at a Sweet Green, but an office, and you judge somebody on the office, and you feel welcome, and there's always a chair for you to sit. How nice is that? When's the last time you went to someone's office?
I mean,
to have a business meeting.
I probably do that more than you do, but the last time it was good was probably when I went to meet Jonathan at the A24 office in LA. At the Pacific Design Center, because it's like beautiful, and it was the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's like, "What do you want? What do you want? A snack?" Our chef already went home, but hold on, and pulls out the drawers of all the organic snacks. But I think that is, it's more of a neutral territory meeting vibe now. Like it's less come to my office, more let's meet in the middle somewhere. And I wonder what the reason for that, because people still have offices, but you're right, it's much more rare.
Just barely.
No, a lot of people I know have offices, but that also, even if it's just for them, but you're right. It's also like the people that are there being paid don't want to be there, so why would they invite anyone else there? You know what I mean? Like why would you get in your car, get on the train, and come here instead of just getting on Zoom?
Yeah, so much, like when I was saying, like Entourage started 20 years ago, and so much has changed in the last 20 years, but it all looks the same. Like when you compare like the 70s and the 90s, visually, it's so different. But 2023 and 2003, everything more or less looks about the same.
Yeah.
Restaurants and buildings and cars, there's some changes, but it's not this insane drastic thing. But I guess all the changes have happened internally.
Did you see where that pristine 1994 Honda Accord with like 12,000 miles on it was going for like a giant sum of money?
Yeah. 2,000 miles on it.
I was like, damn,
you already know, I saw that.
People will fetishize anything. Like it's honestly crazy to me. Like that was the car. My dad had that car every 5 years growing up, or even less probably. And I always thought of it as a shitty car. Not shitty, but just fine.
Yeah.
A fine car. And now there's some dork that's going to like wire $175,000 to drive that on Sundays. It just doesn't, it blows my mind like how crazy it gets.
Well, you could say that about so many things, there's
totally.
There's an old pair of Levi's jeans that a guy threw away that's worth $100,000. It's just, but with the car, it's a lot of like rich nostalgia.
Yeah,
like
true.
Tech guys who are just like, damn, I used to want this car when I was in high school, and now I can buy a pristine thing of it.
That's true.
And you get a big nostalgia boost, and also every used car is expensive as fuck now. Even the shitholes from 1995.
That's why we lease on this side.
That's why I purchased certified pre-owned cars.
I wanted to talk about the tweet from Bethany.
You want to talk about the tweet?
Bethany Cosentino from formerly of Best Coast, and it became like a big thing because Stereo Gum posted it, and then of course, like she did a TikTok, and then Stereo Gum transcribed it for a news post, and then of course it turns into this like insane debate among fucking mouth breathers on the internet.
It went viral.
She was basically saying that she's disappointed in the way that her solo album was received, and she's not blaming anyone, but she's just kind of saying this sucks that no one cared about this, which is like, I appreciate. I think it's interesting to say that out loud because it feels like it feels real. You know what I mean? It doesn't because she's not like pointing fingers or like mad or anything. She's literally like kind of throwing her hands up in the air, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Is kind of the vibe, and it brought up to me like the fact that era of artists that saw such success and like probably real money during the time when people were still buying CDs and shit.
Yeah,
I think that the reality is just tough to face where we're at now, and what you're competing against is just
in every single industry,
of course. But I just think the music business has changed. I mean, I think that also like people might have not liked the album because they just didn't like the album. Like, I don't know if we can always blame promotion and this and that or, you know, whatever. But I would never do something like that. I would take my L. But I think that doing stuff like that endears you to your like, I think that made her fans.
Yeah. Actually, this reminds me of I was listening to a podcast last week and I forgot who was talking about with who, but they were talking about how powerful saying, like, if you're in an argument with your partner or whatever, you're talking about something and you just say the phrase, I'm embarrassed, or I was embarrassed about XYZ, like how far that goes. And she's essentially just saying, like, I put my heart and soul into this album and it didn't do very well. That's a bummer. And it's probably pretty embarrassing because you're putting yourself out there and it doesn't go the way you want it to go. And yeah, it'll endear people.
No, it really does. I mean, I find it to be...
But it's hard for me because you and I are both the same type of person who stating the obvious is the least interesting thing we would ever want to do.
Yeah.
Condemning something that's obviously abhorrent or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I found the whole thing really interesting. I found most people's responses to be, you know, reasonable. But I guess that it was just, I didn't expect something like that to take fire but I guess that like that generation of people is super online. That were there for the Best Coast kind of, you know, and that was really popular. And I think they all have an opinion on it because she's pretty outspoken herself. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I find the honesty interesting. But I also would just take my lumps and be like, all right, well, my shit flopped. No one cared. Maybe it's not good.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I mean, I've done it before. It's like part of life. If you put anything out into the world, you have to expect people to hate it. People hate this podcast. Tell me all the time.
I say, what now?
I mean, they tell me they would never.
Now I know you're bullshitting me.
I think they just hate me. I don't think they hate this podcast or you, but I just mean that, like,
thank you.
It's kind of like, what are you gonna? I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I guess I don't know what the point is. You know what I mean? But maybe she just wanted to get off her chest, which is totally fine.
Yeah, I think also we are in an era, as you know, that has changed a lot in the last 20 years. Not to bring that back up again, but there's like the class divide of people who are able to make money and have a living doing what they want to do, making their art.
Yes,
she's in that category of person. You know, she's not at the top of the list, but she's able to, you know, she owns a home and she lives a comfortable life probably from playing music. And there are millions and millions of people out there who are living on the poverty line, looking at her, complaining about this. And they're like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I work at Kinko's.
No,
I got 3 kids.
Don't worry.
My life is hell.
Most of the people commenting on
stereo. So people don't have a lot of empathy. You know, there's a Twitter account called DJs Complaining where it's just a bunch of millionaire fucking virgin incel guys wearing sweatpants who date rape chicks who are like, well, Delta, what am I supposed to do about this delay? I'm supposed to go to Denver, you know, like.
No, for sure. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I think that, like, the way she approached it was kind of it wasn't about money. You know what I mean? Or like,
No.
this has caused my life discomfort. It was more like an emotional letdown, I think is what it felt like to me. I think if you make it about money, people are just like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? That's but also the people that read Stereo Gum and would comment on this are also like people that have high ranking jobs at MailChimp. You know what I mean? And have like a vinyl collection. So they feel like personally invested in this, and like they had to get a babysitter to go to the fucking beer store. It's just it's a twisted crowd for sure.
Had to get a sitter because I'm waiting in line for the new Krungenbin 180 gram.
Exactly. No. Yeah, I had to get a sitter for Record Store Day, 5th year in a row. Is the vibe of who comments on Stereo Gum. That being said, the Stereo Gum comment section is incredible as far as like deranged like music commentary.
I don't be
goes.
looking at that.
One of my favorite places.
Speaking of sports, do you want to talk about Rafa Alcaraz Netflix tennis showdown? How do you feel about that?
I feel good if we were sitting courtside. I don't feel quite as good now because we haven't confirmed anything. But I mean, I think it's interesting that they're doing this. I mean, it means that it just...
What do you mean we haven't confirmed anything?
I'm just saying we haven't confirmed anything. I don't...
Wait, what do you mean?
There's nothing on the table. I just mean in general.
No, I'm talking about...
I would like to be offered tickets.
Well, I think that this is one of those things where it might be more fun to like watch it at home with the homies. You know, have like a...
I just don't know
like an Allison Roman dinner party and watch a live tennis event on pay-per-view kind of vibe.
I just don't know if I just don't know if people care enough. It ain't going to be the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I just don't. I think it'll...
Well, I don't want it to be the Super Bowl.
They do. That's the whole fucking reason they're doing that. I mean, maybe not the Super Bowl, but like...
Well, I think they want it to be a Super Bowl-like event for a sport which is obviously never going to be as big as football. And maybe the people who enjoy tennis like it that way. Does that make sense?
Yes, but the people that profit off tennis probably don't like it that way quite as much.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the expectations are set considering, thousands of data points. But I guess I'm more speaking selfishly because you see all of these events and sports and Super Bowls and playoffs and March Madness and world, and I don't give a flying shit about any of it, or even UFC. Like, it's fun to watch if something's going on, but I'm not going to go out of my way to like organize a UFC thingy at my bro's house and we order food, and get the seltzers out. And that's all well and good and it's fun, but I don't do that. But if
I'm 10 claws fucking deep and this guy's leaking. This is crazy.
Catch up, beep. That kind of stuff. But for a tennis match head on, one-on-one in Vegas at night, maybe there's ring card girls. Are European people going to fly in and rent out hotels? Is there going to be is Vegas going to be cooler for tennis? Will it be taken over by a more civilized bunch?
No, it'll just be corny Europeans.
Perhaps the UFC crowd.
It'll be better than UFC crowd, but like it will be. It's still. I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't know if you can throw money at something and it just might not work. And I think it'll work. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like it'll be fine. I mean, like it'll get a lot of viewers and people will buy the tickets and whatever. But I don't know if it will.
Well, it's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I don't think I think it's free.
No, but you buy a ticket to go.
Yeah, for being there in person. Yeah,
but I just don't think that tennis. I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel like natural to me.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think this is bad for tennis? Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's probably good for the growth of tennis. But I think it's bad for tennis at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the same time. Like, if they want to make more money, this is the direction they should go in. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of people that are like, this is kind of corny. Like, this isn't Cirque du Soleil. Like, let's what are we doing? This isn't
pickleball.
Yeah, and that's my problem with it. Is it just feels uncool. But of course I'll watch it. I mean, I'm not above it.
You know what a good AB comp is like when the X Games first came out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's like street skating. Like, they're going to make it like a competition and build a fake street course. That's so fucking stupid. And then when it comes on ESPN Ocho, you're like, Yeah, I'm watching it.
Yo, bro, he's not my guy, but Nyjah fucking killed the double set in fucking.
You watch it
in San Antonio, bro. He went crazy. He did it switch, dude. Yeah, no, I mean, no.
I just learned what switch was.
No, I mean the skateboarding is a good example because they also have street league skateboarding and X Games and now the Olympics. And I think that there's just certain guys that are like, this is fucking lame. And there are other guys that are like, I'm an athlete. This is how I make money. You know, and like, I'm going to do it. I don't care.
Like goofy ass Bob Burnquist is probably all
there's
down
just certain
for it,
guys that are like X Games guys. And there's certain guys that are cool. And, you know, I saw a video part yesterday that blew my fucking mind. This like Willie Staley posted it. It's this guy, Tom Knox, this British guy who I actually hung out with once because he's a New Balance athlete. But he just did something so insane, and Willie was like, this trick is so far out of most people's realm of capability they can't even like process it.
Okay,
basically.
I'm glad you brought this up because I actually saw the same tweet that Willie posted. Shout out to Willie. Hopefully you're listening. One of the greatest tweeters on X.
Great tweeter.
And he posted, and if it's the same video I'm thinking of, it's like a guy. It's like I don't know, maybe like a 10 stair, and there's a metal handrail that he has to jump over. The board never leaves the ground.
Yes.
I don't know what that's called, but he hops it, lands back on his moving board, and then has like a tenth of a second to land his feet perfectly, and then whatever, ollie down this 10 stair or something, right? That's the same one?
Yeah. Yes. No, it was, yeah. But it doesn't, I don't think most people know what they're watching. And then when you kind of start processing it and they show how many, they show a lot of attempts, you're like, oh, this is absolutely insane what this guy's doing.
Yes. Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up because this clip had me thinking it's very common when you're watching an amazing skate video where a guy attempts, or a girl, or any person attempts some crazy thing and it'll show them eating shit, falling.
Yes.
Failed attempts. And then to build up the drama and like, damn, he's really going for it. She fell 12 times. She broke 3 boards and then she eventually lands it. Holy shit. But when I was watching this video, he bailed so many times. And to me, I want to know how many times is too many times to show you not successfully landing a trick. Before you're like, okay,
we got it.
I get it.
Yeah.
He fell a bunch of times and landed. We don't need to see all 37 of them at a certain point. Are there diminishing returns?
Definitely. I mean, there's actually a series I've watched on YouTube, like a Thrasher series, where it's like, I can't remember what it's called, but basically a skater like takes you to they chronicle trying to get a trick at a spot over like a long period of time because it like haunts them.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And it like, you feel really happy when they land it. You're like, this is really, you really deserve this. But yeah, I mean, I think
it feels like fucking you're in a Katy Perry video.
Yeah, if there's a couple slams, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I think that this was done for effect because the trick was so weird too, as far as like the difficulty. But yeah, I diminishing returns, absolutely.
Yeah, Willie, if you're listening, send me a message. Let me know how many is the correct amount of falls to show beforehand.
Yeah, how many falls? Exactly.
Skate Twitter, sound off in my DMs, please.
We know we have plenty of skaters listening to How Long Gone. Shout out to all my kick flippers out there. We love you guys.
I just ordered an Andrew beanie.
Oh, did you? Which Andrew beanie did you get?
A couple days ago.
The slip and slide?
It's the slip and slide beanie. I had to cop
the
it.
Slip and Slide Andrew collaboration is the most Miami shit of all time, and it's very cool.
It's well done. It's one of those beanies where it's like, it's so ugly. I hate it. I'm never going to wear it, and I had to buy it.
Yep. I mean, that's my favorite kind of garment, bro. That's number one. That's the number one garment. That's why as I sit here and look at 2 pairs of Fry Guys and a 12, I can't think of anything more hitting closer to home right now than what you just said. Really, really.
Fries on my feet.
Oh, exactly. Fries on my feet. Yeah, I can't wait to watch more skate videos. That's my takeaway from this. I love skate Instagram. It's one of my favorite reasons to be on the platform.
Yeah, maybe Netflix needs to get into the skate video territory. We'll sign a barracks.
Well, I talked to this about fucking with Spanky and Whitmer about Patrick O'Dell had that series called Epically Latered on Vice that was like the it's amazing, and I think he's bringing it back. But I was talking when I was talking about it, I was like, it's prime time for this right now. Like this would be huge if it was brought back. So hopefully they were able to get the IP back from Vice, the cursed failed company, and kind of find a home for it. Eddie Wong making a documentary about Vice's downfall after he cashed millions of dollars in checks from Vice is one of the ultimate cool things I've ever seen.
But doesn't that mean Vice is involved with making this?
No.
They have to. Oh, really?
No. It's like chronicling the downfall of Vice, directed by Eddie. Is the idea? So no, but it's amazing to be able to double dip on. I made money on the way up, and now I'm making money on the way down. Suckers.
It kind of has like the guy who created Firefest being in and producing the Firefest documentary
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Has a little same sniff, same scent as
like, wait a second. Hold on, bro. Which
means we're gonna get a Vice comeback, the return of Vice. It's gonna. You know what, guys? We're back, and we say beep now again.
No, 100%. People. I mean, look, Jezebel got bought by Paste. I mean, people just like. The Vice thing, the downfall was so big, it'll take a little more time. But yeah, it'll absolutely be back. Everything fucking comes back. We can't resist.
Are they going to get, what's his name, Proud Boy, on the interview?
Nah.
I already forgot his name.
Gavin McInnes. No, he's probably, I think he's like fully cut off. Like, I don't even think he has like a weird right-wing platform anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I think he has gone, he went so far that he couldn't even be on like the Daily Caller or whatever
He's living in a van down by the river. YouTube has removed, he's on his 17th strike on YouTube. He ain't never getting that shit recovered.
He should have a lot of money, or at least some money, but I bet he spent it all on like legal fees probably. Is my guess.
Damn. Such a bummer. I mean, to not blow it on coke or Hunter Biden blew a lot of money in a sick way. And you're right, Gavin is probably going to blow it on lawyer fees.
Definitely lawyer fees. Or like when your wife leaves you and you have to, the divorce, something will happen that will require him to spend millions of dollars in a not cool way. That I can say for absolute sure.
Yeah. And I guess being married to him, that's defamation of character.
Oh,
just by 100%. Waking up every morning.
I've seen some people shading Taylor Swift for having a Milk Bar cake at her birthday, which is so funny.
Do you think she just found out about it?
No, this tweet was like, this bitch loves me, a millennial, so much that she still has a Milk Bar cake at her birthday, which is so funny. It's so funny.
I do it every year, y'all.
It's so funny. Having a Milk Bar cake is a cry for help for sure. And do you think? Well, the question is, do you think Travis Kelce knew what Milk Bar was? Yes or no?
No. And I would love to be there to see the look on his face when he eats a corn cookie for the first time. It's like when you see a video of somebody giving a baby
their first food, like the first sour,
crazy, like macaroni and cheese or something like that, and they're like, ooh?
Yeah,
wait, this is corn, but it tastes good in the cookie. It makes sense that Taylor would have the foot of Milk Bar on her throat
definitely
since 2009.
I mean,
right?
Imagine, there's a lot of situations I want to see Travis Kelce in with Taylor Swift and see, like, can you imagine Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on a double date with Antonoff and Margaret Qualley at like Via Carota? Like, what the fuck are those? What are those people going to talk about? Like, honestly, what is Jack Antonoff can't talk about key changes with Travis Kelce? There's nothing to talk about. Like, it's absolutely like we're happy for you, but let's not, like, don't bring him around us, please.
Qualley and Antonov are going to rock up, and they're not going to be wearing shoes. And Travis Kelce will be like, man, this restaurant's weird. And they're like, no, Margaret just never wears shoes in the city.
Man, this restaurant's weird.
I'm like,
I thought I had to wear my Jordan 1s. This is crazy, man. I don't know why we're giving him a country accent when he definitely has a black scent. I don't know why we're doing this, but that's the way what we've chosen. That's what we've chosen. But him making all these best dress lists is so crazy. He looks so bad. Like, he looks insane. I mean, she dresses awful too, which is like so interesting because she should, based on her fame, she should be like the face of Louis Vuitton. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But because she has zero style, it's kind of amazing that how she's had such a successful career and completely circumvented fashion.
Lowest common denominator. I think she looks like, you know, when you're watching like an 80s music video or like an 80s movie and there's like a scene in like a house of fashion and you see like sketches, like old like 80s or 90s wardrobe sketches. That's kind of how she dresses. Just like, here's like an angular red coat.
It's so bad.
You're the only person who's ever bought this coat.
It's so bad.
And you're pairing it with the weird boots.
She loves a weird boot. I mean, look, she seems happy and is making a lot of money. So maybe the fact that she wears like colored tights isn't a problem. But it's a problem for
colored
me.
Tights.
It's a problem for me personally. But yeah, I love the idea.
I like it.
You like that she dresses so poorly?
Of course. I mean, like, everyone dresses poorly now. Like, Beyonce dresses poorly, Rihanna dresses poorly. Even when Rihanna looks cool and like she like coincidentally will throw like a fit together where I'm into it, but like everyone dresses bad now, even me.
I mean,
but
I see.
To me, it's like
I see your point.
The way she dresses is like you're watching like cable TV when you're a kid, and you realize that like pay-per-view or like the porn channel is coming in. I think there's a Friends episode about this where they get like the porn channel and they're like, we can never change the channel because that means it might go away. So the powers that be are like, Taylor is dressing like this and we can't stop or else the money train will start flowing.
Yeah, no, that's
like her bad
true.
outfits are the only thing that's holding this house of cards together.
Yeah, she can't switch her look up because it could affect ticket sales.
If she starts dressing well, that could change a rift in the time-space continuum forever.
And yeah, Taylor Swift reminds me of this all this Kanye news, Jason, her buddy, because Kanye announced a YEWS news platform for all of just about him.
Move over byline.
Just Kanye news only. And he also hired, this is honestly unbelievable. He hired Gosha, who was, I believe, kind of disowned by the fashion business because he was kind of going into the underage category for male models. And that didn't sit well. So he's now been divested from Dover Street Market and Comme des Garçons, who was paying for his brand. But now he has been announced as the new creative director of Yeezy, and he has done the new album cover, and it's just Burzum, I think, or it's like it's literally just some like exact thing from black metal that he has put on Kanye's album cover, if I'm not mistaken.
Kanye cover, I gotta look it up. Yeah, it's very similar to any generic black metal album cover, but it's not done super well. The Vultures one.
It's not amazing, but it's, you know.
I just love that you have this artwork. It's like a black and white image of like an umbrella in a dystopian desert, black and white, and I love that it's like, this is a Ty Dolla $ign album. You know what I mean?
But we heard it. We got a leak in one of our group chats. I didn't really listen to it because I don't care. But did you take time to click on the 320s and like blast it in the AirPod Pros?
Yes. Oh, okay. I found it. The artwork is a piece by Caspar David Frederick, known as one of Adolf Hitler's favorite artists, who promoted Nazi ideology in the 30s and 40s. And then it was also used by Burzum.
Okay.
For an album cover.
Okay, so it goes Hitler, Burzum, Kanye, as far as people who've licensed this important artwork.
It goes Adolf Hitler, Burzum, and Lil Durk is the
lineage
order of operations over there.
I mean, people just don't care, man. People just don't care. He's just doing whatever, and I guarantee you this album is going to stream #1. Like, it's going to be huge.
I mean, I don't really like new Kanye music. It's fine. I like that he so doesn't care that he's sort of like, I don't know. He's done like a full implosion, I guess. It's like performance art at this point, which is kind of cool to see people, even though he's become an awful person. It's cool to see people who have like done everything. They have enough money to do whatever they want and create whatever art they want. And they just, a pure expression that is outside of commerce. It's nice to see that, only because it's so rare in 2023. But the music, I mean, like a Backstreet Boys song, it's just a Backstreet Boys song.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is it's an album where he wants to go crazy. He wants the crowd to give him this emotion, and he wants people to go ape shit, but none of the songs go ape shit.
Sure.
And it's a thing that's been happening in rap music for a while now, where it's like we do these EDM style drops and build-ups and like samples where it's like 2 in the morning, you know, like they like a lot of rap songs and hip hop songs do that nowadays. But then when it finally drops and it's a Skrillex song or a Fred Again song, it's like, and everyone's like, oh shit. But then when like the Kanye song finally drops, it's like a subdued tonal sub bass beat that goes like, dum, doo, dum, doo.
Yeah.
Dum, dum, doo.
Yeah. It's not.
And everyone looks around at each other in the club and they're like, I guess I don't know. Is this a vibe?
I can't stand on the couch to this is the truth.
No, it is not standing on the couch music. There's no home for it. There's no market for this music.
That's not
true. But it will still somehow become #1.
There are 14-year-olds that this is the mark. There are 14-year-olds that have been waiting for this. That I think it's really young people who truly care about him. And like maybe not 14, but people who like are 18, you know, to 24.
Where you're old enough for plausible deniability. If you're 37 years old, you should know better than to publicly enjoy Kanye West.
Yes, no, exactly. Yeah,
but if you're like a
badass
16-year-old, you're like, Jesus is fucking sick as hell. I like lit a building on fire listening to
that's
that.
Exactly.
I tortured a frog.
Actually, I lit a frog on fire using a magnifying glass while I listened to Kanye West. I do think that is. You're absolutely right.
I am a god.
If like your major exposure to Kanye West was Yeezus, then you are waiting for this. Like you are desperate for this album to drop.
The one song, like he doesn't really rap anymore. He just talks. It feels more like a poetry reading type of delivery than a Live Miami at 3 a.m. type of delivery.
Yeah, sure.
Like he'll have a lot of empty space for you to stop and think about what he just said. But the thing that he just said was, you say you a king, Burger King.
Yeah, bars.
He just did that. But it makes you wonder. You're like, all right, Kanye, are you saying this ridiculous sentence because you're just only trying to entertain and amuse yourself at this point? All of your brain has been flushed out and all of your neurotransmitters are dulled and you have to do this just to not kill yourself? If so, then that's kind of funny and cool. Or are you just turning into a dumbass?
One of life's greatest questions. Is Kanye West just a dumbass? We've been asking that for 15 years. How long gone? We are in San Francisco for Sketchfest January 25th. Those tickets are on sale now. Go cop. And we're back with more podcasts next week. Don't worry.
Always.
With guests with guests who will show up.
Don't say that.
Hopefully.
That's an instant jinx.
No, I mean, I always hope they show up.
Well, it's too late now.
You can edit that. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, and the next time we pod, you're gonna be in Cali, right? It's so awesome. All right, cool. Well, see you later. And everybody enjoy McDonald's.
Hey, actually, I have to go. I'm hitting the drive-thru. I'll talk to you later.